very nice. Anyway, thought I'd just tell you about one of my experiences. I do have experiences every now and then. I'll see spirits. Spirits come to me with messages for people. I don't go out my way to get them. I don't call myself a medium. I don't say to people, let us try and bring your Uncle Charlie in. No. What tends to happen is somebody will come into my life one way or the other, as a friend or somebody that I interact with in daily life, and it's as though a spirit involved with them is probably trying to communicate, and they're just not listening, or they don't hear anything, or just don't believe there is anything. I don't know, but they seem to go, hey, this new fella, he listens, let's have a go. So yeah, they pop up. Okay, so these people pop up. I'll tell you what I generally see. I generally see people in their prime, and what I call prime is, in this life, if you look at somebody in their 30s, middle 30s or something, they're fit, full of it, that's what I would call a prime. And whenever I see them, they always look like that. And they look like that, doesn't matter how they died, whether they were young, old, large, slim, whatever. They're always in the prime and look good. And then there's times when, yeah, I see them in the prime, but they'll show me a different view, and I will see them probably as the youngster or the older person, but in a way that the person I'm going to talk to will understand the person I'm talking about. Because you've got to remember, you're talking to someone else, and they've got to understand what the heck you're talking about. And whenever I go to somebody, I make sure I never ask any questions. So if it happens to you, never ask questions. Never go, oh, did you have a sister? Did you have a brother? Is your mum dead? Is your dad dead? I bet your friend this, or something like that. Once you do that, you're open for somebody to say, you're cold reading, you're asking me questions, you're sucking in information, and you're going to use that information to give me a story. So you ask nothing, you can't bend anything to anything. And these people, normally, they're not people that I really know much about. And the one I'm going to talk about today is a friend, but I still didn't know that much into the person's life that I could come up with something. Yeah, with friends, still friends, but never to that extent of knowledge. Okay, so let's start on this one. Happened in this flat. Where I was about just here, actually. Had a different seating arrangement, and I was relaxing in it when it happened. Let's look at it this way. My friend, she lived, I'm not going to say any names, but she lived in the flat below me, exactly the same layout. And a little bit before this began, maybe a week, 2 weeks, something, I can't remember, before this happened. I remember her coming to me and saying, "Oh, you feel things, you know, this, that, you see things or something, maybe." I don't know if you got any feelings on it, but when I'm in the room, which would be like this room, and the door's there, exactly where my door is, so I feel someone's around, and over at that door, I keep feeling somebody's near the door looking in at me. I just feel them looking in at me. And she had a cat, still got a cat, and said the cat's just going bonkers. It just sort of stares like that at the door, and yeah, animals do pick up the presence of someone. So I think that kicked it off. That sort of, ooh, maybe. So yeah, I think that kicked it off. So I said, well, look, I don't do all this, but if anyone comes to me with anything I feel, I will pass that on to you, but sort of don't hold your breath, because it all depends on that side of things, and sometimes people just don't want to. So I remember relaxing, being somewhere here, lolled back, and I saw this person, this woman, in her prime of life, beautiful woman, long, straight, beautiful, like auburn hair, and she had a dress on that was sort of clingy, but not sexual, but it was clingy, straight, elegant sort of thing. Just that, and like I said, I saw her, and I always know you can say to yourself, am I just figuring all this up or what? But I always know when it's real, because my body changes and I get what I call like a vibration. Your body feels like there's a hum or something. So I always know the difference. And so yeah, I saw her. And when I generally see a spirit, it's a lot like charades. It doesn't tend to be, hi there, what can I do for you? I'd like you to do this. It's as though it is very much like being through this veil. Imagine someone being in a room with a misty window. It's very damp, and the window's misty, and you're looking at each other, but you can't particularly hear each other, so you're having to explain between there what the hell you're talking about. And it's very much like that with me anyway. So we get this sort of, I'll give you an idea, you see what you come up with. Let me usually end up right. It's usually showing me lots of different pictures and running sort of like videos to me and all that sort of thing. Anyway, she showed me, and the funny thing is, just before this happened, between the cat and that, she'd said to me, my sister has just moved house, she's in a new house, and it's the same sort of with her. She's got this feeling somebody's there and they're watching, and she don't know what the hell it is. So I said I'd ask you. So my reply was more or less the same as with the hallway. So yeah, we start communicating, and she's showing me these things, and she's showing me what I'm assuming is a sister's house, because it wasn't my flat, it wasn't my friend's flat, it was a totally different place. And just a few bits and bobs. I'll try and remember what some of them were. One of them, they were just simple little things, but they meant something. And one of them, I saw a sister in the living room dancing, and probably especially you ladies will understand what I mean, because you probably do it more than men. If you work in, you put music on and you dance away to it. Or if you're a bit bored or you're happy or whatever, you'll dance away to it as well. So you'll be there, just start dancing. Anyway, so I saw a sister dancing, and she was dancing with her, but obviously the sister couldn't see her. So I knew she was saying to her, look, she was dancing, I just danced along with her. Showed me one or two little bits like that, and then she was putting the messages to me. She was there, why am I doing this? And the answer was, I'm doing it to bond with my sisters. And she said, why? Why am I doing this now? Why am I bonding with my sisters now? Because they would have not understood it before, they would have not accepted it before, but now they will. I'm bonding with them. And then she said something funny to me, which was, I've already bonded with my other sister. Now we go back to the sister in the flat below. Week before, feeling somebody was around, somebody was watching her, the cat was acting strange, somebody's there. There was a sister bonding with her. She'd bonded with her before she'd gone to this sister. So that answered that question for me and for my friend downstairs as to what was going on in her flat. So yeah, she was telling me about bonding with her sisters and such, and then all of a sudden she changed her view, and instead of this 30-year-old woman, I was seeing this young girl, which I looked at the time and thought 13, 14, 15, and wasn't for very long. She was just bounding everywhere. She'd sit in a chair, up, something else, away, did it? That's what I was seeing. She wouldn't be sort of in one place above a couple of minutes. She wasn't that sort of kid that I was looking at. Then it went back to she was back in a prime again, and sorry if I'm doing a lot of thinking because I'm having to think, but it's pretty fresh, but I still have to think about what was happening, in what order. Yeah, it went back to that again anyway, and that was more or less it in a nutshell. It was, I was there, I first bonded with this sister, that'd be the one downstairs. Now I was bonding with this sister, the one with the new house. Why? Because they would not understand before, they will understand it now, they'll accept it now. That's why I'm bonding with them now. And then she said that to me. Then she said she was going to go, and she just said to me, standing there looking straight at me, said to me, tell my sisters I love them. And as she said it, I got this massive ball of love that hit me in the chest. Now, how I'll explain that is that all of you at some time will have had that ball of love. You will either looked at a kitten, you'd have looked at a baby, you'd have looked at your child, you'd have looked at the person you loved, whether it's your mum, your dad, or husband, boyfriend, whatever. They're all slightly different balls of love, because your boyfriend one ain't going to feel like your dad one, is it? Not really. So, and your experience, that ball of love that you feel that really hits you when you go, oh my bloody giddy aunt, is different. Everybody is different. They all feel different. So I knew it wasn't mine because it did not feel like mine. Mine's fantastic, but it didn't feel like that one. Tell my sisters I love them. Whack. This big ball of love and light, in a sense. I've never forgot it. I can still, don't feel it every 5 minutes a day, I'm not saying that, but when I remember it, I can feel it. It's something I'm never going to deny. I'm never going to say it didn't happen. I'm never going to think to myself, did it or didn't it? Because I know it did. So this big ball of love. Then just before she went, she was stood next to another lady that was smaller, and this lady was showing herself as an older person, giving me the impression an older person, maternal. Wasn't like, oh, this is my friend over here, or this is my friend that was there, or whatever. It was sort of maternal. And with showing myself as the older person, I had to think grandmother. And sometimes I see the people, but I can't see the faces. They seem to veil the faces a little bit. But I could see the shape, I could see the hairstyle, I could see the person more or less. Anyway, there was that, and then she went. And I gave a very little bit of detail to my friend, because she said, well, my sister's coming over. So I thought, well, I'll wait and tell you both together. And I did tell them both together. They understood exactly what I was talking about, and although they wouldn't have recognised the lady in the 30s, or what I call it, the prime, they recognised the young girl, which I found out it was their sister, and she died, I think, when she was 14 or 15, something round about that. So she died at the age that I was shown, which they would have gone, that's, and the characteristic. And they said, yeah, she was very much like that. She weren't one for sitting around above a couple of minutes. She was flipping hyperactive all over the place. So it was a really nice experience, because they did understand who the Echo was talking about, and it was comforting to them to know that the sister had been there bonding with them, and to know that she was with this, what I said, a grandmotherly figure, because I think that was one of their concerns, that they was worried that was worried about the grandmother, and that, so they knew that those two were together. And one other little thing that I didn't mention, actually, because it skipped my flipping feeble mind. which I was the last thing I told this other sister, was, your sister told me to tell you something. And I said, I don't know what your new house looks like. I don't even know what the old one looked like. I said, I don't know what it looks like, but from where I was looking, you all sit or something in that position over there. Obviously the door's over here somewhere or something. But you're all mainly in that sort of area. And there's something over there that is a main vocal point. I don't know whether it's a fireplace, a television, whatever. And taking to mind now, it was about a week or something before I actually got to see them to give them this information. And I said, I said to her, I don't know what she's going to do, but she said to me, that corner, which, if you're stood looking at me, would be that one there. She said, that corner there, I'll do something to let them know that it really is me. And her sister just started out laughing. I said, yeah, what? She said, I have a music system over in that corner. It's all that corner on the wall and everything. And said the whole lot just flipping collapsed over the last couple of days. So yeah, it was a lovely experience, one I won't ever forget. I'll always remember that ball of love. The experiences, as you'll find out, have always been to do with love. They're always a message of love, always really nice, always a pleasure to pass on. But remember, if you ever had that opportunity, don't ask questions, just give the message. Don't be frightened that you're going to be talking a load of gobbledygook, because of all the messages I've ever given, I've never had one that a person said, yeah, well, it might be because my flipping sister lives next door to me and she's still alive. Or, yeah, it's this, that, and totally blown it out of the water. And so no one's ever done that. Everyone is known exactly who I'm talking about, especially if I can describe them a bit to them. And everybody knows exactly what the spirit is trying to put over to them. So that's one of the experiences, and it was a very pleasurable one. And hopefully I'll give you a nice one for Paranormal number 5. So don't be afraid of it. It's there. Spirits are there. They're not far away. They're that far away. They're not on some blooming planet out there in the solar system. We occupy the same space. We're just not supposed to flipping be looking at each other every day. Morning. Hi, hey, today. It's not supposed to be. I don't even know why we do see this. My suspicions is they sneak in. They're a little bit naughty. And think, no one around. I'll just pass this message on. Okay, so folks, have fun. Again, don't do anything I do. Morning. See you later.